the game. Okay. Now I'm just gonna have to wait for people to come on. Oh, yeah, I might want to mute the um, speakers on my end just so people don't get a lot of feedback from my microphone. Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and start up the game. Kind of annoys me, however, that some people have decided to wait until literally the last minute to say that they're not going to be able to participate in this, even though I've had this scheduled for over a week. Seriously, you don't do that. Jeez, man. Talk about. You know what? I'm not gonna say it. Actually, if I want to see the chat, I better actually minimize this a little bit. As a matter of fact, does this have a pop out? Pop out chat, yes. Okay. Connecting to chat, okay. Yeah, that's a little easier to keep track of. I guess I'll start me up a new game. I'll just keep my name as Tesla, just for simplicity. Yes. What, it won't let me save over that? Now, Dragon Quest VII is something that I feel it, it has a weird history for me. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's the best Dragon Quest we've ever gotten, but darn, did I feel a lot of, I don't know, I guess emotions from this game that I didn't feel from a lot of the other ones. I mean, the other ones are great games, but I think this is the one that really pushed their imagination over the edge with the kind of scenarios that they come up with. Also, much like Dragon Quest V, this game has a lot of dark and dreary moments to it, which I think help it stand out more than any of the other games in the series. It is weird though, because when you look at the most popular Dragon Quest games that people usually talk about, usually the ones that they always mention are either Dragon Quest 3, which really didn't have all that much of a narrative to speak of. It was the um, any storyline it had was more implied than anything else. Because this was around the time when the Dragon Quest games weren't very dialogue heavy. I mean, it had its moments to be sure, especially towards the end of the game, but it's it was fairly ambiguous though when it came to characters and whatnot. I think this is the game that really added on the character development. Speaking of, we're introduced to two of our main characters for this game. The ever so silent hero you're going to be controlling, who has a very weird design. I don't know, like, looking at his official art, I can't help but wonder why they picked this design. It just seems weird. I mean, it does grow on you, but I'm just like, is it? I don't know, man. Maribel's design's not much better, but I guess it does fit for the fact that they live in kind of a rural village, and you don't really. They're really inspired by old, valid Victorian times, I guess. As far as character-wise goes, the main character is supposed to be portrayed as kind of a lazy bum of sorts, but the overly friendly type, whereas Maribel's the tomboy essentially. Yeah, that's pretty much her character, honestly. I mean, she does have her humorous and endearing moments, but she's basically a tomboy. I'm not going to be speaking a lot of the dialogue because we never get anywhere if I did. This game is very dialogue heavy. Probably one of the most dialogue heavy games on PS1, actually. One of them. I'm going to try to remember to leave the text up there, though, for like a second so that you guys can take time to read it if you want. Because there's one thing I hate about certain Let's Players on YouTube. For games that Let's Players have played before, they will usually speed right through the text when they're playing games, and that always bugs me. Because someone might tune in to your Let's Plays not knowing what that game is, and if they've never played the game before, they might want to read the dialogue, so try to keep that in mind. Now, much like most Dragon Quest games, you can find little sacks that are hanging on the wall here and examine them to find stuff. You can also find items in pots, barrels, etc., as well as drawers. So you should always try to explore the town to see if you can find stuff. Or even dungeon. Even some dungeons have those. $110 gold. And a leather hat. Gonna go ahead and equip that. Even though we won't be getting much use out of that for the time being. But that's fine. Like I said, the main character is kind of lazy. I mean, he is somewhat responsible too. He's just that lazy type of character, though. Kind of reminds me of Sora from Kingdom Hearts in that regard. He can be serious when he has to be, but he's also kind of lazy. Also, you're apparently the son of the best fisherman in the land, so there's a lot of pressure, I think, for him to kind of follow in his footsteps a bit. Ooh, a fish sub. I've admittedly never had a fish sub before. I wonder what they taste like. Though odds are, knowing what most people like on fish, I can't imagine that tasting good on a sub. I mean, I'm of the opinion that you shouldn't judge something until you try it, I guess, but um, I don't know. A lot of people, when they eat fish and stuff, they like to put stuff like mayonnaise and sour cream and stuff, and ugh, yeah, I would not like that. Oh, really? I can't save. Ugh. I hate four story events so much. I'm gonna try to remember to talk to NPCs during special events, but don't hold it against me if I forget to, because I'm not in the habit of doing that very often. Emmett Donut and Emmett Snack. You're giving it to me for free? What is this, the Power Rangers universe, where, like, the good guys always get stuff for free? Granted, this sometimes happens in RPGs too, but still. Yeah, considering how easy it is to walk to Astard Castle, that's not exactly saying much. So that would be, considering most people live to about 50 or 60, it's been around for about 3 to 400 years. Give or take. That's the plan. Yeah, a lot of the people in this town are very one note. Okay, granted, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The one thing I like about Dragon Quest games is they don't really try too hard to make their characters more epic than they really are. Which, ironically, is something I've come to hate in the Final Fantasy series. Seriously. Um, Sometimes simplicity is an issue, people. Actually, judging the fact that you're near the water and you're a fisherman, I'm going to assume you're actually seasick. Indeed, he is. honestly, I think he's a little too good, actually. Yeah, Burkeno's kind of a jerk to his son. So you would have held off on the voyage for the time it took me to deliver this? Hey, it's your fault you didn't pick it up before you left. Now, a complaint that a lot of people give for drawing Warrior 7 is that the start comes off a little sluggish because the prologue lasts generally for if you're used to the events, it can take about 10 to 15 minutes on average, whereas if you're not familiar with the events, it could take upwards to an hour because you have to figure out what all you have to do. Well, I'm not going to judge anyone for that opinion because everyone has their own outlook on things. I kind of like it because a lot of people complain that it takes you an extremely long time before you get to fight your first battle in a Dragon Warrior game, or in most games you can pretty much do it almost instantly. But honestly, I don't know. I don't really find that to be very important. Um, and for as long as this takes, I'm not going to get too much into it right yet, but I do kind of like the way they went about it. Again, this game really knows to flesh out characters fairly well. A lot more than a lot of other Dragon Quest games do, let me tell you. Honestly, I think Dragon Quest VIII did get a lot of inspiration from this game. Because I did see a lot of similar moments in that one as well. Also, I like the setting for this game for like different events and stuff, as you're gonna find out later. Depending on how long I'm able to stream this. I'm hoping for at least 2 or 3 hours, but oh yes. Borkeno has a brother. I'll get to him later. Yeah, Tesla's not near as muscular and well fit as um his dad, definitely. Not yet, anyway. And you might notice there's Maribel over there in the corner. She's apparently trying to stow away on board for the fishing trip, but the game won't progress unless you snitch her out. I love breaking all the barrels before talking to her. Yeah, that's gonna be kinda hard now, since you have nothing to hide behind anymore. And apparently their reasoning for this is that she's a woman, and following old fishing traditions, bringing a woman on board was supposedly bad luck. You would apparently put a curse would be put on you or something. I think that's how it went. Yeah. At least old um, Christian values, Anglo Christian values, had the excuse of, well, the Bible said to put the woman below the man, so that's what we're going by. But what was the sailors' excuse? The sailors were just sexist, I'm sorry. Not to say that the what the Anglos believed was right either, but at least they had some basis for it. The sailors really didn't, unless they were going by some sort of like mythology or something. I'm not exactly an expert on the subject here, but I always thought that was really stupid. Wait, secret base? Are we in like the Pokemon universe? Oh, speaking of, the new remakes for Pokemon 3rd Gen have just been released. Now, I've been hearing a lot of good things about that. Now, um, going back to the game for a second, I never really understood. Oh, wait, hold on. I'll put a cap on that for a second. Oh, he's being a little nicer now. You know, normally when you think of a fishing trip, you don't really think it's like all that exciting. I mean, they're just going out to catch some fish. That's not exactly something that's all that important. But when you hear that epic orchestral music start playing, the thing that came to my mind was, heck yeah, we're on a boat. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna catch some fish, man. Heck yeah. I'm just like, wow. That's just awesome. Hmm. Just a moment. Gotta be able to type on this thing. I don't really have enough room on my desk to put all this stuff, though. Anyways, that aside, this is a really great section of the game for me. Like, a lot of people find it boring. I think it's good. Then again, I thought a lot of people didn't really give this game the credit it deserved. I mean, it's really, when you get right down to it, it's one of the better games in the series. Right, going toe to toe with Dragon Quest V, and it certainly has a lot more depth to it than 3 had. I mean, I love Dragon Quest 3. Don't get me wrong, but wait, cute dresses? Aren't you supposed to be a tomboy? Yeah, I think Maribel's probably one of the few. Uh, okay, so it's the Bethalma scenario. I cannot get her to agree with me. Okay. But yeah, it's a general stereotype of tomboys that they hate everything that's, um, shall I say, lumped in with being like, I don't want to use the term girly because that's not the case here, but I think it's more feminine based though. And I hate that so much. Whereas it's just like, oh well, I can't go to shop and look at dresses, otherwise I'm going to be seen as being girly, and I'm gonna be ridiculed because of it. I hate that so much with character writing. Because when you design a character like that, it's almost like writers try to eliminate all signs of femininity. Femininity? I can't pronounce that right, but it's just like, and I hate that. I think the reason I hate that is it really limits um, character growth. And I've noticed with, especially these days, with a lot of action films, they try to um, how do I word this correctly? Almost like they try to turn turn like turn into women into what most people like to call the anti-woman, where it's just like where it's not where they're not really they look like a woman but they don't act like one. They act more manly and their character as far as their characters are concerned. And I hate that. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be wearing frilly dresses and you have to be constantly having makeup on or whatnot, and you always have to giggle and be kind of happy-go-lucky or whatnot. But for crying out loud, man, some of the characters I've seen in modern stories are just terrible. I get so tired of them. And it's very occasional that you'll actually find jerk. Jeez. And she's pretty popular. Although I could imagine that being the case, and she's the only female teenager on the whole island. Seriously. Um, But but anyways, like I was saying though, I really hate that when it comes to the the way characters are written. Um, I'm glad that this game doesn't do that, where it's like, yeah, Maribel has some feminine touches to her, but she mostly sticks to the tomboy theme. Mostly. And if you recall, the king of the castle called for us. So we have to go to the throne room up here. Don't mind me, I'm just standing here. Oh boy, what'd I do? No. So he was a mama's boy, I guess. Oh, we're following this cliche, aren't we? Oh, you're born the prince of a nation, so you're obligated to be pretty much a slave to your people, is pretty much what he's saying here. Well, maybe slave isn't the right word, but you're basically, have given no choice in the matter. You have to follow in the line of royalty, and you can't stray from that, because you're not allowed to, kind of thing. And I'm like, whenever I see this in like video games, movies, etc., one thought always comes to mind. Um, has anyone really ever thought of rebelling against this type of um and it sometimes happens, but like I would seriously hate that about um the royal line, because it's just like, especially if we're going for national history and whatnot that we see in history books dating way back to ancient times. Being in the royal line sucked, because if you were a prince, or heck, let's say you're a princess and you were born to royal line. Do you know what was expected of you? From the minute you're born, you have to stay with your mother, apparently the queen, and you have to be nurtured by her for about, I think, 2 or 3 years. Maybe 4. I don't remember the exact date, but I know it's no later than 4 years, though. And when that happens, then you're, um, basically tore away from your mom and shipped away to like a convent or an abbey or a place like that. And from from your 4th year to, I think, your 15th year, you have to live there. And you're basically trained and raised by like your instructors on how to be a proper lady and whatnot, like proper manners, proper etiquette, um, the rules of being a lady of the court. I mean, that's pretty much all you're subjected to for like 11 years. And there was usually no affection to be had at these types of places. It was basically all business. So imagine, you were a 4-year-old girl, you were around a loving mother that cared for you, and without any explanation whatsoever, you're torn away from her and taken to this place that you're unfamiliar with, and you're surrounded with these people who are totally unaffectionate and who are basically just there to teach you things. Okay, I can only imagine what kind of negative um, effects this could have on one's self-esteem, on one's personality, on one's will. Especially if you look at the way they had to act, they pretty much had no emotion, for lack of a better term. Like, they were raised to be completely loyal and obedient, and basically nothing else. I mean, obedience was really just the biggest part of being a princess and later on a queen. There was not much more you had to look forward to, and that's not a life I would ever want. That's I don't think that's a life anyone would ever want. Like, I don't know if the princes had it as bad as the princesses, but I was just like, nobody would want this. Nobody would want this. Like, I can't imagine that 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 this would be the kind of lifestyle that would be um I don't know. I can't think of the word I'm looking for here. Anyways, Prince Kiefer here is apparently a good friend of yours, and he's discovered some secret to these ruins in the Forbidden Zone. And he gives us this item, and he wants us to read it. It's an ancient scroll of sorts. For being supposedly what people call a dumb prince, he's actually pretty crafty. Again, this is pretty good character depth here because normally with this kind of stereotype, he would normally be the strong but stupid character, and that's obviously not the case here. So I really like that. Which again is why I like Dragon Quest more than most typical RPGs. He also has no respect for roles and whatnot. Okay, now I'm gonna rant a little bit here because from the time you do this storyline segment, the game gives you no indication whatsoever of what you're supposed to do next. None. Because when I was playtesting this to make sure I knew how to do all the events in the proper order, I was lost here for about, I think, 30 minutes trying to figure out what the heck I was supposed to do. I mean, I even looked on a guide on GameFAQs, and even they weren't being very helpful in the matter. I did not know what I was doing wrong. Okay. Um, Now, I did remember to go over here down this hidden stairway. Don't worry about this locked door, I'll get to that much later in the game, But yeah, you're supposed to come down here and talk to the sage at the top of the hill. Ooh, I got me an intelligence seed. I'm gonna be holding on to that, though. Talk to this guy. Well, I am the main character in RPG. That's kind of my shtick, so... Okay, is it just me, or is this really loud? I mean, it could be just me. Yeah, you have to give him the scroll. Nice. Now, I remember to do this, like, right away. But after this, I could not figure out what to do. Because I tried finding Kiefer, who has seemingly disappeared off the face of the map. And by the way, if I pronounce these names wrong, I apologize. I really don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce them. I've always called him Kiefer, so... If that's not how you pronounce it, then... I don't know, whatever. Okay. I tried talking to everyone in Astard. I tried talking to everyone in Fishbill multiple times. I even went down here and talked to the animal guy. The animal dwarf guy. He apparently has the uncanny ability to talk to animals. Pandora is the younger brother of Orcano. He is a scoundrel who loves to get drunk and loves to scam people. Yeah, I call hacks on that one. If you're totally attuned with nature, you can understand language of animals. Oh, bull crap. There are people who have dedicated their whole lives to nature and can't do that. It's gotta be a dwarf thing. Okay, get this. In order to progress the game, you actually have to go over here and talk to these two ladies right here. This is... Oh, Lonesome Bell Slime's coming in. I'm using a controller. I am using a controller for this. But yeah, in order to progress the game from this point, you have to talk to these two old ladies right here, and you have to kind of be given a tutorial on going down wells. I hate this so much. There's nothing in this part of the game that indicates you're supposed to do this. I mean, I don't know if the pearl's supposed to I can't remember if you used the Pearl in the storyline or not, but this is seriously extremely tedious. But yeah, as soon as you get this, I believe Prince Kiefer has returned to the castle. And I believe in order to get to the prince, all you have to do is... Nope. He's still not back yet. Oh, crap. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? I do not want to spend half an hour figuring this out again. Oh, I know what I have to do. Let's see. I believe now that I've got that. There we go, the Hondora scene. Yeah, until you get that, Hondora will not show up here in the pub. Yeah, if you had something that was toasted called the hot stone, I would be afraid to touch it. Just saying. Out of all the characters in this game that I like, this guy is one I actually can't stand. Man. Oh man. This part of the game really sucks. Wrong place. Something fell off Hondora's pocket and tumbled onto the floor. Getting the hot stone is pretty much necessary, otherwise you can't proceed. Have I really been doing this for 45 minutes? Because that's when I started streaming. Certainly doesn't feel like it's been 45 minutes. Huh, Kiefer's still not back. Okay then. What am I doing wrong then? Well, let me try talking to Molly. Oh, Dad, blame it. Well, I've pretty much done everything I can think to do, honestly. Because I know the next storyline segment is when I'm supposed to meet back up with Kiefer and talk about things. But for the life of me, I cannot figure out where he is. He's supposed to appear back at his room at some point. have to talk to the princess, do I? Ah, crap. Which means I have to figure out how to get to where she is. Which is not the easiest thing in the world, I assure you. Oops, wrong way. I don't think this guy has anything to do with the storyline, but... But if I recall, getting to the princess requires you to actually go down here. Yeah, over here. And here she is, way over here. Seriously, could they have picked a more complicated place to put her? Okay. Dead blame it. I swear, this one part of the storyline is extremely annoying. I wish they would have given you some sort of, like, indication of what you're supposed to do. Because I haven't the foggiest. This is probably the one part of the game that is really tedious, and I would have wished they would give this some sort of hint. Oh, I know what I have to do now. I think this might be it. I think I'm supposed to go back and try to use the hot stone on the statue. Okay, here we go. Alright. I think at this point everything falls into place. And then we're getting back to the good stuff. There he is. Well, we've been trying to find you for like the last 30 minutes. Oh yeah, getting a little ahead of myself there. Oh, come on. Now, just a moment, everyone. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Back to talking to the old man. How do you not recognize the prince? Well, now we know what to do now, at least. And I think at this point, the only thing I have left to do is go through the ruins. Which, again, a lot of people complain about. Because they say that it's nothing but puzzles and it's boring. And
And I gotta be perfectly honest. What? Oh, come on. I just got him back. Wacky. Uh, if he locked you in your room, how'd you get out? It's not like there were any windows nearby. Yeah. Kiefer's not a sentimentalist, definitely. But that's okay. Onwards to the ruins. I don't know. I never really minded the ruins all that much. It was a fairly unique way to start off the game. And the place is opened at last. Now, to my knowledge, I've beat this game several times, and I don't think the game ever explains how he's able to do this. There are theories for why the hero can do this, but nothing concrete. I personally, I'm not gonna spoil what those theories are because it's kind of spoilers, but I'll get into that once I beat the game. That thing I just read is a hint to finding the helmet. What it wants you to do is to actually put this fire out. Now, the direction you put this out in is kind of important. Because if you put it out from the left, then the right statue will rekindle it. And that's the one you need. the Saint's helmet. There's actually 4 of these Saints equipments we need to find. You see, there are 4 statues here. We need a piece of equipment for each statue. We found one. And I can only assume that there's another one over there, but we can't swim. Because of course not. Because why wouldn't a kid born in a fisherman's village know how to swim? Of course not. Okay, there we go. Missed a step. Now the reason you have to do this is when you step on this, it lifts that up for just a few seconds. And then it drops. So, you have to be careful about that. The door is locked. We have devoted ourselves to pursuing the absolute truth. Who the true heart shall be handed the path to his future. Who the heart of evil shall lose that hand. Basically, you have to put your hand into the mouth of the lion. There was a rusted key inside. Okay. We actually needed that. Unfortunately, I fell down, so now I have to do this again. It's not that hard to do, though. You just gotta be quick. And I need to actually push that on this. Now that we have the key, we can get in here. Now, you want to pay attention to this drawing right here. It's kind of hard to figure out what it entails, but basically, if you look carefully at the trees in the drawing, you see branches on one of them that goes left, the branches of the second one goes right, and then the branches on the other 2 go left. Basically what that means is that you're going through a kind of Super Mario Brothers 1-esque maze room. And you have to go in just the right doors to progress. Basically you have to go left once, right once, and the rest left. If you don't, then you'll keep getting sent back to the first room again. Believe it or not, it took me a while to figure this out last time I played the game. Now, there are certain areas... Hold on. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. People need to quit calling me for stuff, dick, blame it. Anyways. Now if we go down here, we see the chest, but we can't get to it. Actually, I think that's a new chest, because the other one was blocked by water. This seems to be a problem. However, if we go up this ladder, we see an orb and 2 statues. Basically, you pick up the orb, take it over here, and put it over here on this pedestal. This causes the 2 statues to switch positions, changing the water flow. Puzzle-wise, this place isn't that bad. I mean, it could be worse. Let's see. I think I actually want to go down here. Going down there just gives you hints for a puzzle down the line, but you really don't need to know that. However, if we go over here, we get chest. The Saint's Sword. And we find another raft. And yet another raft. Which takes us to the chest we saw before. To the Saint's Shield. However, we currently only have 3. So, where's the other one? It's a good question. This is always the last one that I tend to find. And I think I have an idea on where it is, and it requires me doing this again. At least I think it does. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, then it's over here somewhere. Well, okay, this is kind of important since it tells you the hints for the 4 saints. The first one is the armor. Shield. Helmet. And the last one is sword. Well, I'll go ahead and show it off just so you can read what it says. If it'll let me. There we go. So the sword is last, and the other three basically are in order of importance. Armor comes first, then shield, then helmet, in terms of defense. That's usually how I remember it. Huh. Do I have to go in here? Well, that gives me a treasure chest, but not the treasure I was looking for. This is the one item that I had trouble finding last time, and I don't know why, since it really shouldn't have been that hard to find. I don't think this has anything to do with it. No. Okay then. Wait, do I go down here? No, I don't. Worth a shot. Well, that was easy enough. Okay. Oh, I almost didn't make that one. Seriously, where are the stairs for this? It's not that this place isn't hard, but for some reason I just get lost trying to find this last item. And really I shouldn't be, because this place is not that big, so I am easily overlooking something here. Alright, here we go. Now, that room I skipped over, actually, if you look into the peepholes, you will see the hints on what you have to do here. Okay, so the skeleton's not used. So I want that out of my way. The golem goes in that one, so and the wind beast creature goes into crap. Messed it up. I might end up having to save state this part just to save time. Because the joystick is kind of fidgety. Ugh. See, it happened again. Oh, come on. If it happens one more time. Okay. Get you out of my way. Okay, that part's done.
Quick save, okay. Well, that part's right.
it the slime? No, it's not. So it has to be this one. There we go. Okay. Just trial and error. That's all it is. Got the Saint's armor. And that's it. Now, I've heard people complain about this, because it's the first dungeon in the game, and it's mostly puzzle related. And for a first time player, it can be a bit overwhelming. I guess to some new audiences that might appear that way, but I kind of grew up with games that didn't really hold your hand very much. And I'm used to games that kind of screw you over in that regard. So this didn't really bother me. Give me 1 second. There we go. My nose is itchy. Jeez, man. And now I have the sniffles. Great. Of all the days for this to happen. Okay, let's see if I got this right. First up is the Saint's armor. Oh, come on. I have to be standing right in front of it. Yep, I do. Then I believe it was the Saint's shield. Saint's helmet. And Saint's sword. Yep, okay. At this point, you're virtually done with the place. There's like one more puzzle, but it's so easy, I don't know why they bothered. Now, I've heard in the 3DS version of this, these puzzles in here have almost completely been removed, and you've basically just got to go in and do this one little puzzle. And I find that kind of insulting almost, because I kind of like the puzzles in this place. Oh, wrong place. This is the fire one. Yep, there we go. It threw me off because the fire torch is on the right, not the left, so... But yeah, all of this is color coordinated. You see these statue-like icons on this 3x3 board, and you're basically gotta light the blue ones on the blue torches of the statues on the right, whereas on the left side you have to take the red torch and light the statues on that side. It's not too complicated, and once you know what you're doing, this is just easy. And let's see. Okay, that's easy enough. where we go. And now we see these shards on the ground. Yep, that's basically the gimmick of this game. We've got to go to these lost worlds and bring them back, essentially. There's more to it than that, but that's basically the general consensus. World map. Okay. I actually kind of like the shard system in this. Since it actually it really opens up the world exploration for this is really good. Okay, I can't remember how many shards you start off with, but and basically the gimmick here is you have to take these jigsaw puzzles and put them together. It's not too hard to do though, they're all pretty short. No, it didn't. We just picked the two up. Now, if we go in here and go into this wave of mist, it will actually teleport us to another place in the ruins, which earlier I actually went into, and it leads us right outside because it's where the beach is. And now we're kind of stuck. Oh well, back to town we go. Huh? The music changed. Oh, everyone's back from the fishing trip, I guess. I mentioned how much I hate Honduras. But anyways, back to talking to Kiefer. Or just a convenient plot device, but whatever. I guess we had to get the shard somehow. And it's not like there's a lot of places to look in Estard, so I guess it makes sense. And from now on, Maribel. Blackmail. Yeah. This happened. Oops, wrong way. But anyways, like I said, from now on, we can actually use this as a shortcut to get back to the Fane, so we don't have to go through the entire ruins again, which is pretty nice. Now that we have that shard, then we can go over here and put the last shard in. What the? And apparently we are going into the ward of Doctor Who. If that's any indication. And to think he's the tough one in our group. wouldn't do that if I were you. Yep, I called it. Epic danger music, go. Behold, monsters appeared. Now, if you talk to people for too long, the monsters will actually wise up and attack you while you're talking to your friends, so be careful of that. Jeez, go Kiefer, man. I will say that Kiefer is probably the manliest character in all Dragon Quest. Just saying. And we get automatically healed for some reason. So we smashed them to goo. Wow. That's dark. I call the fifth on this one. And Kiefer's just ignoring Maribel. Yeah, yeah. Now, throughout the journey, you can actually do party talk, where after an event happens, you can talk to your friends and they will have insight on what they're experiencing. I think Dragon Quest 7 was the first one to have party talk on the PSX. So, this land is fertile enough for trees to grow, but not flowers, really. That doesn't make sense to me, but I'll go with it. Fancy you stopping us. Okay, yeah, they're done talking. By the way, I didn't mention it before, but the music in this game is probably one of my favorite soundtracks.
Turn this down a little bit.
Holy crap, Matilda's strong. I generally tend to train out here for a while until I'm like level 4 or 5. Because right at the moment, we don't exactly have much in the way of stats or equipment. So, having Matilda around helps out a lot here. And really, you don't even have to worry about the enemies attacking you on occasion. Because if you ever get low enough on HP, Matilda will heal you. And she has like infinite MP, so you never die when she's around. However, the minute you go back to town, she's gonna not be your party anymore, so be very wary of that. Now, a lot of people also have criticized the enemy design in this game, saying that it really should have been better than it was for being on the PlayStation. I really don't care about graphics, to be honest. I mean, I know they play somewhat of a part in enjoyability, but the PlayStation kind of brought 3D graphics in as kind of a higher standard, and that's kind of what everyone used as a comparison, and I kind of hated that. Crap, why is this so loud all of a sudden? Anyways. I just hated that during like the 3D era where so many corporations were kind of intimidated into making all their games 3D, even if it sucked. Because I was like, but they don't need to be 3D. I mean, there were 2D games on the PlayStation as well, and they looked fine. In fact, they looked pretty good. But unfortunately, the new modern audience really didn't enjoy those types of graphics, so oftentimes we got a lot of games during the PSX era that just sucked because corporations were practically being forced to make their games with 3D even if they didn't know how to do it right. And I'm just like, even in today's age where like you see a lot of corporations and whatnot try to force high definition graphics on our throats, and a lot of these like corporations like to pass their game off as really great just because they're keeping up with the cutting edge of technology and whatnot, when graphics is all the game really offers. I don't know, man. That to me seems kind of silly, but I apologize if it seems like I haven't been participating on the den as much as I used to. It's not because I'm tired of the den or anything like that, and I just aren't visiting anymore. No, I go there all the time. The problem is that really I don't have as much time as I used to dedicate to things. This is most noticeable when it comes to stuff like my RPG and stuff like let's see what else. I was working at creating a group account for the site to dedicate to Dragon Quest related stuff. I don't think anyone's really done anything with it though. Which is kind of depressing, because we were really getting excited over that. But for some reason, like, a bunch of the people that were interested in it just kind of lost interest, I guess. I'm starting to notice this, actually, is that despite... Okay, seriously? Despite the fact that this is mostly a Dragon Quest related forum, you don't really see much on the Dragon Quest front anymore like you used to. No, instead, most of the news lately has been about Pokemon. Most notably, the new remakes that just came out. I think the biggest discussion of Dragon Quest I think I've seen is just... them talking about the new games on iOS and asking about release dates. And that's basically it. I don't know. Like, I guess I'd like a little more interest in discussion on Dragon Quest, because it honestly feels like people are starting to slowly ease away from it. Of course, some people claim that it's probably because Dragon Quest is really only being released on iOS now, and that's turning a lot of people off. And I'd be lying if I said that I didn't understand it, but... Oh yeah, every time you learn a new technique from leveling up, you get your MP back. For whatever reason, but... I don't know. I can understand people being a little turned off by that, but at the same time, the corporations are going where the money is, unfortunately, and a lot of people are investing in mobile gaming now. Like, a lot of corporations are doing it, a lot more fan bases are starting to get hooked onto mobile gaming. I mean, I'm not a fan of it either, but the corporations are going to go where the fan base goes, and unless we make an effort to change how we handle things, then that's how it's going to stay. I don't know how they're going to handle the high definition Dragon Quest games on mobile. Like stuff like Dragon Quest 8, stuff like Dragon Quest 9, like the new Dragon Quest games, like, I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna be, if they're gonna put those on consoles, or if they're just gonna... I know they're not gonna stop making new games, I know that much. Because we just got the news recently about Dragon Quest Heroes, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna be on console. At least I think it is. I'd have to look into it. Okay, I'm loving the free herbs. That's nice, but... really loving the free herbs here. mean, they're not exactly expensive, but I want to dedicate my money to equipment because equipment in this game is really expensive. I mean, it's generally a staple of Dragon Quest to make you really work to earn your equipment and whatnot, but this game really pushes that. Now, you do get access to something later on, which kind of helps with the fact that you probably won't be able to have all the up-to-date equipment, but later on you're gonna find that equipment's really not gonna be much of a problem, because you really won't need it for the most part. Like, you will have to update your equipment every now and then, but it's not a necessity, I guess. Not at level 4 yet, so I'm almost there though. Now, as for what I've been doing lately, well, I haven't been doing all that much. I've been trying to catch up on a lot of games, streaming them for my friends that I've been behind on. I've just recently got the 2 new Smash games for 3DS and Wii U. I've been messing around with those a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. And I really like some of the changes, but some of the new modes I feel are very uninspired. I'm not a fan of Smash Tour on the Wii U version. I think they made it way too freaking hard to actually win at anything. And it really comes down to tedium when it comes to earning stuff from it, so I don't think I'm going to be messing with that too much. It feels very Brawl-like, just with a lot of the annoyances from Brawl taken out, like the better online and the no tripping. So it honestly this feels like what Brawl should have been, in all honesty. And I'm admittedly okay with that. I mean, my expectations weren't very high for the new game, admittedly, so I was impressed with what I got. The new characters were fun. I especially love playing with Little Mac. I love playing with Rosalina and Luma. I love playing with Pac-Man. I don't like Villager too much. He's kind of a bit of a gimmick, but Duck Hunt Dog's pretty fun. There's a lot of characters I like in this. Dr. Mario and Mewtwo returning is pretty interesting. I was never a big fan of Mewtwo, admittedly, but and it really comes down to, I think the reason they brought him back was just the backlash from them taking him out. And I don't know, man. I've never been a fan of, like, people bending under pressure when it comes to fan backlash of things. And I just don't think I'm gonna be using Mewtwo that much. I don't really care that Ice Climbers were not in the 3DS version, and they aren't in the Wii U version from what I can tell. At least I haven't seen them yet. maybe I'll unlock them later, I don't know, but if they're not in there, I'm not gonna throw a fit over it. They weren't exactly all the best of characters to begin with. A game I want to play is Hyrule Warriors, because that's a Zelda game that I feel like I could really get some enjoyment out of. Because I'm getting tired of the Zelda formula that a lot of the current Zelda games have been using. So it's going to be nice to have a change of pace. I'm also been playing a lot more of the, well, I've been playing the more recent Digimon games, like I recently beat Black and White, which I have been neglecting for a while, and now I'm playing Black and White 2. And I will say the Pokemon games have slowly gone better, which I like. Everyone's at level 4, alright, I think I'm good. But yeah, I really want to play that game. It looks extremely addicting and fun, and I've been wanting it since I saw the trailer, just because it looks like just from the opening trailer, it just looks really fun, and what they've done with the game ever since then just impressed me. It's almost like Nintendo finally understands that we're getting really tired of the same Zelda game over and over again, so they're trying something different. I'm not gonna get too excited though, because I think this is a one-time thing, and after this we're probably gonna go back to the old Zelda format, but I'll take advantage of this while I can. I've also heard Nintendo's current, what's the word I'm looking for here? Their procedure on how they're going to proceed with having a affiliation system for people who are posting Nintendo videos online, where instead of basically taking ownership of videos, they're gonna try and work with people a little bit more, I guess. Admittedly, I was never a big part of this debate with Nintendo and YouTube channels, since I really don't know enough about behind the scenes and whatnot. I don't know. To me, it's a very complicated process, because a lot of people want to scream hate on Nintendo for this, but I don't know, man. Like, I could actually dedicate myself to actually making a debate about who's right and who's wrong here, but it would be a long discussion, so I'm gonna save that for another time. Because there's a lot of factors you actually really consider with this. Yeah, the cloth is kind of useless, so I can sell that. speaking of, I need to get to Weapon Armor Shop. I just gotta find where the shops are. Yeah, I remember the shops being none too easy to find before. That's awfully suspicious, but that's the church. Oh, is this it? Yep. Yeah, stuff be expensive, yo. First, I need to get some from Maribel, because she really doesn't have anything. Nothing but a cloth. Now, I do find it kind of ironic that she's a tomboy, yet her actual class, per se, in this game is a mage. A class that's usually as typecasted to female characters. Yeah. I'm surprised more people didn't throw a fuss over that, actually. But I guess they're showing some sign of maturity there. Kiefer, being the manly member of the group, actually is very high in strength, but really nothing else. But then again, that's all he really needs, because, well, he's freaking boss, that's why. Seriously, is there anyone that doesn't like Kiefer in this? I'm pretty sure there's not. Wow, I barely had enough money for all that, too. I do have some stuff I could sell, though. As well as something I could give Maribel. Two things, actually. Went up by 3, not bad. Life Acorn. Max HP went up by 3, okay. I'm actually probably gonna call this quits for now, because I've been streaming for a little over 2 hours, and I felt like I've got a lot out of this. I'm hoping I can keep doing this, but I guess we're gonna find out. It still kind of annoys me that like only one person actually ended up coming out of like the 4 that said we're gonna be here. But oh well, not much I can really do about that, I guess.
All right. I will see you guys later.